Chodesh Tov Mubarach. I apologize for any background noise. I am currently in Newark Airport on the way back from the Strauss wedding. And Be'ezras Hashem, we try to record this year. It doesn't end up working out. I guess we'll do it when we get home. But Be'ezras Hashem, we are, it is Chodesh Tov, of course, it is the first day of the month of Tevis, and it is also Zois Chanukah, and we are up to a new Mishnah. The Mishnah is like also on the top of Ein Ches Amud Beis, and we'll send out the link here so that Chabad can follow along. Please God, and here we go. Okay, it says the Mishnah as follows. The Mishnah tells us, Nitma Basar, if the Basar became Tameh, the Basar of the carbon became Tameh, V'chelev Gaim, but there is still Chelev, meaning the fats of the carbon and other parts that are going to be burnt on the Mizbech. Ein Zarikas Adam, at that point in time, you don't throw the blood onto the Mizbech. Now, whose opinion is this? So this is, we would assume that this is exclusively the domain of Rabbi Yehuda. This is in Basa and Dam in Basa. But being that this is talking about carbon Pesach, even Rabbi Eliezer agrees that if the basar of the carbon Pesach, the part that's supposed to be eaten, is now tameh, so then you should not do zrikas hadam, because the whole point of the carbon Pesach is for the eating of it. What happens if the chelev became tameh, v'abasar kayim, and the meat is still good to go? So then zrikas hadam, then you for sure still throw the blood on the mizbech. You can still do zrikas hadam. You still get to the mitzvah of the carbon Pesach. Uve mugdashim, and with regards to other karbanos, and again, that is not the same din. Ella, even though the basar became tameh, hachelev v'hachelev kayim, and the chelev is still good to go, meaning it didn't become tameh, it's still there. Zerikas adam, in those cases, you are still going to do zerikas adam, and Rashi points out here that is also even according to Rabbi Yoshua. That is also Rabbi Yeshua's opinion, meaning this Mishnah is unanimous according to everybody based on all of the discussions that we have had up until now. Says the Gemara as follows. Amar Rav Gidl, Amar Rav, says Rav Gidl in the name of Rav. If you threw the blood, you have been yotze the mitzvah, meaning that you don't need to bring another carbon Pesach, and you don't need to be pushed up to Pesach Sheni, meaning you're done. V'haba ina achila, but it says Rav Gidl, Amar Rav, I don't understand. Don't you need achila? Isn't achila the whole point of the carbon Pesach? So if the basar became tameh and you did zrikas hadam, so you used the mitzvah of Pesach, but you didn't eat it. You can't eat it. It's tameh. Says the Gemara, no, achila lo ma'akva. That eating of the carbon Pesach, while it is apparently essential, it is not that essential. It's not ma'akev in your fulfillment of the mitzvah. Didn't the pasuk say ish lefi achlai? Each person according to that which he eats. Says the Gemara, no, le mitzvah. That is only to tell you that there is a mitzvah of achilas carbon Pesach, but not that it is ma'akev. Is it really true that it's not going to be ma'akev? That it's not going to hold you back from fulfilling the mitzvah of carbon Pesach? Va'tanya, didn't we learn b'michsas? Pasuk says b'michsas nefashos. B'michsas means, like we saw earlier in Samach something, Melamed she'ein ha'pesach nishchad ela leminu yav. That word b'mitzvah teaches us that the Korban Pesach is only able to be eaten if it she'ein ha'pesach, that the Korban Pesach is only shefted leminu yav for those that are in the accounting of who is supposed to be eating from it. Yachol, you might think that if you shefted it for somebody that is not in the list, it would be as if you have violated a mitzvah, the kosher, and nevertheless it is still kosher, meaning you violated a mitzvah, you've missed out on the mitzvah, but the korban itself is kosher. Therefore the pasuk says, ish lefi achlai. Tachosu alasa, ish lefi achlai, meaning each person according to what he eats. Tachosu means you have to make accounting. And therefore the pasuk is doubling up on this lashon of b'michsas and tachosu to tell you that the achilas hakarban is ma'akev. V'itkish ochlin liminuyim, and those that are eating it are part and parcel of the same. There's a juxtaposition between those that eat it and those that are accounted for the people that are registered on this karban to eat it. Ella Rab, the Amud Reb Nosson. Now, it must be that when Rab was explaining this, then it is because he holds like Rabbi Nosson. He holds like the opinion of Rabbi Nosson, one of the Tanaim, who holds the Amar Pesachim, Achilas Pesachim Eloi Ma'akva, that the eating of the Pesach is not Ma'akev. Meaning that is a shita amongst the Tanaim that apparently not everybody holds of, but Reb Nosson does, that Achilas Pesachim is not Ma'akev in the bringing of the korban. Says the Gemara, okay, who is this Reb Nosson? Meaning, where is this opinion? Hey, Rabbi Nosson, where is this shita of Rabbi Nosson? Maybe you want to say, Rabbi Nosson, this Rabbi Nosson is the Tanya that which was taught in the Brisa. Rabbi Nosson says, that all the Jewish people are able to fulfill their Korban Pesach with one animal, with one Korban Pesach. Talmud Lemar, therefore the pasuk comes along to say, V'shachtu oisoi kol kahal adas Yisrael ben arbaim. Every Jew has to shech the Korban Pesach ben arbaim. V'chi kol kahal shechtin. What, everybody shechs the Korban Pesach? That's not true. V'halai ein shechet ela echad. One person shechts each Korban Pesach, and you have a group of people that's on that. Ela melamed, rather this comes along to tell us shekol Yisrael yotzim b'Pesach echad. That every Jew could fulfill Korban Pesach even with one Korban. Now, how is it possible that every Jew in the world would fulfill Korban Pesach with one Korban? It must be that not every Jew needs to eat the Korban Pesach. They just need to be registered in bringing it. They need to be part and parcel of the bringing of it. And as long as you're part of the bringing of the Korban Pesach, you're good to go. Says the Gemara, maybe that's different. Why? Because you can have the whole Jewish people, a billion people, all registered on one Korban Pesach. Each of them could, at least fundamentally, be able to eat from it if everybody else dropped out. Meaning if they decided to register for another Korban Pesach. If these people withdrew, then those people can eat the Korban Pesach. And if these people withdrew, then everybody else would be able to eat. Meaning, fundamentally, everybody could eat from it. Now, practically, they wouldn't be able to with it. They wouldn't be able with it. But in theory, it's possible. The question is, would Reb Nosson extend this din to say that even when it is fundamentally impossible, when the basar is tamei, nobody can eat it, would he still say that achila is not ma'akev? Because in that case, achila wouldn't even be theoretically possible. Ela ha Reb Nosson. But rather, you must say that it is not from that Reb Nosson, it's this din of Reb Nosson. The Tanya, that the Brisa says, Nimno alav chabura achas, you have one group that is counted on this Korban Pesach, Nimno alav chabura achas, and then they brought in another group. Meaning, you had one group of people, you had a million of guys that were registered, and then they switched it out for another one. So, they didn't switch it out, they added to it. Rishonim sheyesh lem kazayis, the first ones that have a kazayis, they measure it out, each one of us can eat the kazayis, oichlin, upturim, milasas pesach sheni. These ones are able to eat, and they're passing from Pesach Sheni. The second million of people that are registered, there isn't enough meat to go around. They don't have a kazayis for each of them. They are not able to eat. They have to bring another Pesach Sheni. But, and this is the Reb Nosson, Reb Nosson tells us that both these and these, the first group that could eat, and the second group that cannot eat, a potter from bringing Pesach Sheni, shekfar nisar kadam, because the dam has already been thrown on the mizbech. What does that tell you? That achila is not ma'akev. You don't need to eat from the Korban Pesach in order to be to the mitzvah. Says the Gemara, okay, cool. Akasi dilma shani hasan. Maybe you could still say that this is a different case. Why? Because if the first million of guys dropped out, they decided to make another Korban Pesach, they joined another group, then the second group of guys would fundamentally be able to eat, which is not the same thing as not anybody being able to eat, because the whole thing is tamei. Says the Gemara, in Cain, if that was so, litni, then he should have said, since they are able to withdraw, they can resign their membership to this Korban Pesach. But from the fact that Rav Nosson says, because the blood has already been thrown in the Mizbeach, what do you hear? But Dam telling me so that the whole thing is about the Zrik Zadam, Aval Achila, but the Achila is Laima Akva, is not going to hold you back. Says the Gemara. Fine. We have proven that we have proven that our Mishnah can be explained according to the Shita of Rabbi Nosson. Now the Gemara asks a meta question on Rav. My dukkhe the Rav the Michael Masnissen lichatchila Rav Nassan. Why is he trying so hard to force this Mishnah into being the opinion of Rav Nassan and that this is a din lechatchila? Meaning, when the Mishnah says nit mabasa v'chelev kayim, ein zorik es hadam, you shouldn't throw the blood. That's only a din lechatchila. But if you did it, it would be mutter. If you did it, it would be mutter. Maybe we could say it's karabanan. It's the shita the rabbanon of the yavednami. And even if you did it b'diavad, it would be problematic. Meaning nit mabasa v'chelev kayim ein zorik es hadam means. And if he did it, the whole thing would be possible. Why is he forcing this Mishnah to be like Rav Nassan to say that if he did it, would be okay with the Evid? Says the Gemara, says Rav Masnissen Kshite. Rav had a problem with the Mishnah. Why? The correction is Tanan. Tanan. Why does the Mishnah say in Zorik Esadam? Don't throw the blood. Litni puzzle. The Mishnah should just have said that this dam is puzzle, that it's invalid. Rather, you hear from this in Zorik lichatchila. When it says in Zorik, it means don't be Zorik. But if you did it, it would be okay. Aval diavad shabadam, but b'diavad it would be okay. Says the Gemara Rav Nassan ish lefi achloi l'ameli. Now we have to understand the shita of Rav Nassan that Rav is putting the Mishnah as his shita. According to Rav Nassan, what is he going to do with this pasuk that says ish lefi achloi? He also has this pasuk in the Torah. It means that you need people that are able to eat from it. That's what it means. That you need, at least fundamentally, the people that are registered should be able to eat from it. They don't need to eat from it in order to be as the mitzvah, but the Korban Pesach needs to be brought with people that could, in theory, eat from it. The people could eat from it. So then who is the author of the following brisa? It says, they shechted it for those that can eat it. And they did zrikos for those that are not able to eat it. The Pesach itself is kosher. And the individual fulfills his obligation with this Korban Pesach. Come on, whose opinion in this? This is name Rav Nassan. This is seems to be, I think, whether this is the opinion of Rav Nassan, but Rabbanan. And this is not the opinion of the Rabbanan. This is a very easy to read for Rav Nassan. It says the Gemara, you could even say that this is the Rabbanan. How? Because there is no obligation to have a machshavas, or there's no value of the thought of who is able to eat it once it comes to Zrikas Adam. Meaning it's only in the shchita that you need that you need to have the machshavas eichlin, but bezrika you don't. Says the Gemara, who is the opinion that says the following brisa? Harei shahaya chayla b'shas hashchita. If the person was sick at the time of shchita, ve'cholim, and he got better. B'shas zrika, he got better by the time it was zrika sadam. Cholim b'shas shchita, ve'cholim b'shas zrika. And if he was sick at the time of shchita, and he was okay at the time of shchita, and he was sick at the time of zrika, ein shechtin v'zerkin alav. Either which way, you don't do shchita for him, you don't do zrika for him. Until he is healthy and well, from the beginning of the shchita to the end of the zrika. Come on, whose opinion in this is this? Name Rabbani. There seems to be for sure going to be the opinion of Rabbani. So we said below Rav Nassan. This is not the opinion of Rav Nassan. Says the Gemara, no. We could learn this from Rav Nassan as well. I feel it Rav Nassan. This is unanimous as well. Why? Because you need a person. The person needs to be fit for eating. Now the Gemara asks an additional question. Now that we've seen that all of these prices so far could be unanimous. Who's the bin that says that if they shechted in the state of Tara, and then the owners became Tommy, Yuzarik Adam and Betara, then throw the blood in Betara, but don't do Achilas Abasar instead of Tumah. Come on, whose opinion is this? Amar Rabbi Elazar says, Elazar, but Machlekes Shnuya, this was taught as a Machlekes. Rav Nassan, and this is the opinion of Rabbi Nassan. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, "Avilatem Rabbani." Yeah, I said that this was a machlekes. Hacham Askinin. What are we talking about? But tzibur. This was a carbon of the tzibur. Oh, sorry. This is to say the majority of the tzibur was tameh. That afilu betuma nami avdi. That they could even shechted in a state of tuma. And Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, the next kash of the Gemara, the last two lines of An Chesam Beis, we will continue with tomorrow, because apparently my boarding group is now boarding. So Wishing everybody a Freilich and Zayis Hanukkah and a Chodesh Mevarach. We'll see you tomorrow.